All right, and it looks like the race has started, although Brad's timer did not start, and I'm wondering why. So Brad without a timer right now, but both players is going to be making their way through Spiral Mountain, collecting the honeycombs before they get up to Grunty's lair. Both players getting the backflip on the first try, very good, but Davey with a little bit better of a combo position. Seems like Brad was just out of the gates a little bit, yeah. And both players looking good on these beak barges. Brad getting kind of a high honeycomb spawn, Davey getting a lower one. Ooh, and Brad actually missing the swim. Going nutso as he's trying to figure out the timer. Oh, that is correct, Star. Yeah, Casey and Hag will face the winner of this match versus Dick. Correct. Okay, there we go. So somebody's got another timer there. All right, cool. So yeah, Brad just a little bit with the timer freak out, lost a little bit of time against Davey. But again, this is just Spiral Mountain, not too big of a deal for both of these players. Davey just collecting the last honeycomb just a little bit before Brad. Oh, that was just the restream, really? Okay. Interesting. But thank you for getting it solved, Feasel. And looks like both of these players making their way up to Bottle Skip. Davey actually talks to Bottles, but so does Brad. Both losing about 3 seconds there, talking to Bottles. So we're looking at 207, 208 Spiral Mountain times. All right, cool. So now the real run begins. FFN has been turned on for both of these players, so they now will have all the access to the moves once they enter Mumbo's Mountain. And yeah, we'll see how they do in the Mumbo's Mountain. A couple of annoying things right off the bat. They'll have to deal with Ticker's Tower, termite spawns. They'll have to deal with Conga, whether he's beating his chest or not. Yeah. Couple little things, couple little movements. Blue Jinjo skip as well. Both players just about neck and neck here, with Davey with a little bit of a lead. But hope you guys are having a good evening. Hope you guys had a good weekend. This is kind of a nice roundabout way of ending the weekend with a nice Banjo-Kazooie match. Hope you guys have a good time tonight watching the stream. So both of these players obviously going into Talon Trot. Ooh, Davey with a little bit of a misstep on the note. Ooh, he misses it twice. Finally grabs it. So Brad's back in the lead just a little bit. Davey with a little bit of some stutter steps. He's got to get those nerves under control. Brad making his way around the first hut. And he'll be making his way into Ticker's Tower. Davey's still kind of doing some stutter steps, collecting the notes out of order there. And Brad getting hit by the termite there, deciding to not pick up the honeycomb, so he's going to get that extra bottle text later. Ooh, and he actually fails the Talon Trot, so Davey, again in the lead. But Brad right on his tail. There we go, both players picking up the first Jiggy in Talon Trot. Very good. Yeah, it's not an ant hill, it is a termite hill. It's Ticker the termite. So kind of the next thing that we're going to have to deal with is we're going to see the notes on the hill. We'll see if Davey can collect those in a more of a steady fashion, not being so nervous. Both players opting to go for the camera turns on the orange Jinjo platform there. And first couple platforms looking good for both players. Just Brad a little bit behind Davey here. So we're going to come down to how's Conga looking. Ooh, and Brad takes the lead again, just from a little stutter step from Davey. And it looks like both players actually got a decent Conga. Ooh, but Brad actually misses one of the switches. And Davey misses the orange. So now, both players are basically neck and neck again. Interesting. Both players grabbing the Jiggy. Davey just a fraction ahead of Brad here, but Brad is going to get the extra bottles text, so Davey's going to be a little bit ahead of time. Nah, I'm not the best commentator ever. It's okay. All right, so Davey actually getting hit by Conga multiple times. There he goes. The chest is finally beaten. Brad making his way through. Actually gets the nice shot over on the side of the platform, and he's taking the lead. And Davey falls off the Conga platform. Oh man! So Davey's a little bit of some stutter steps here, some nervous movement. But again, you know, Davey's got that 2:13. He's got the better time than Brad. You know, he might be a little bit behind right now, but it's not too big of a deal. Don't count out Davey. He's been known to pull out some pretty clutch endings. Brad making his way over to the rest of the huts. He's going to smash 2 of them before entering Mumbo's, and he's going to do his best not to wake up Mumbo. We don't want to wake up Mumbo in this level. We don't need to turn into the termite. So we do our best not to wake him. Waking him is basically just extra time that we don't need to spend in Mumbo's Mountain. So Brad doing his best to go around the corners here. Doing pretty good. Makes his way out very quickly. And we'll be looking to do Juju here. And Brad gets the first one. Waits for the second one. Very good. Gets a pretty nice ground pound up top. Manages to get Juju done there very fast. And he gets the fast Jiggy grab too. And basically the next thing we're going to see from Brad is the blue Jinjo skip. We'll see if he manages to get the jump in time. Davey getting a bit of a slower Jiggy grab, but still right behind Brad in terms of Mumbo's Mountain. Ooh, Brad missing one of the notes. It's okay though. Grabs it, goes back, and Brad's going to be doing a quick dive here to get to the bottom of the pool. Manages to do that just perfectly, and now he's going to collect these 3 notes, and he'll be making his way to the blue Jinjo. We'll see if he gets it. Should be just fine. Not too hard of a trick. Can be a little finicky. He manages to jump just in time. Gets the skip. He's going to get a nice sub-8 Mumbo's Mountain here. So, getting all 100 notes and making his way out. Davey manages to get the blue Jinjo skip too. Very good. Brad getting about a 758 Mumbo's Mountain. And Davey a little bit behind him, but still doing okay. Brad manages to get the Mumbo's Mountain Witch Switch Jiggy on the first try. Doing the faster strat. Very good. And we'll see if Davey gets it on the first try. Just the same. Punch, punch. A, B, A, Z. Perfect. Grabs the Jiggy. Very good. Both of these players now making their way through the lair. So, yeah, we've got some downtime before we get into Treasure Trove Cove, which can be the first kind of major run killer, depending on how the players do. A lot of tight flying sections, a lot of tight movements. So we'll see who is less nervous, who is more steady in their flying. Brad making his way over to the shock spring pad, which again he's able to access early because he's got FFM on lock. And now we'll be seeing Brad making his way into TTC. Yeah, good luck to both players. FFM stands for Furnace Fun Moves. It is a glitch that was actually done off screen by both the players that gives them access to basically almost all the bomber moves in the game. It's just a neat little time save, getting all the moves early, not having to talk to bottles for the majority of the game. Brad opting not to go for the fast swim strat there to get the blue Jinjo. Just going to go ahead and play it safe. And Davey with a couple of hits there. Davey choosing to go for the flutter here. Manages to grab it. Very good. Good tree there from Brad. So we're going to see Davey with an extra bit of Bottles text here because he did get hit by the termite, I believe, on the way out of Mumbo's Mountain. So both of these players making it through the swim. Brad and I talking to Bottles. We do not know flying on this on our FFM files because we want Bottles to give us those 25 red feathers. So Davey making his way up to Bottles now. Brad with a good quick dive to the bottom of the second ship hold in order to get Blubber's second gold. And we'll see which player has Blubber in Africa and which player doesn't. Looks like Brad's going to have Blubber almost all the way in Africa, almost South America over there in that back corner. So he's not going to get the fast jiggy grab here. Losing about 3 seconds. And we'll see how Davies is looking. And Davey actually gets a nice Blubber spawn if he doesn't move. Perfect. Great Blubber spawn. Able to get the quick jiggy grab there. All right, and Brad making his way through the first flying section. He's got a dip for this one note, and he's looking pretty good there. Got to make it inside this treasure chest to grab the jiggy. Davey making his way up on the flight pad now. And Brad doing a good beak bomb over here to the X. Davey getting a good first flap there as well. Got to get inside the treasure chest. Ooh, and Davey is a little bit too low. So Davey's going to have to recycle and come back around. So he tries to go for the beak bomb and doesn't get it. He's going to go for it again. Doesn't get it. He's going to go for it again. Doesn't get it. Oh, he finally gets it. Very nice. So he loses some time there. That's not too bad, though, as long as he doesn't land. You know, if he landed or if he fell in the water there, he'd have to go all the way back up to the flight pad. So it's okay that he lost some of this health. It shouldn't be too big of a deal. There is a beehive and a crab that he can kill for extra health before he goes up to the lighthouse. So shouldn't be too big of a deal. Brad making his way into the alcove now for this jiggy. Manages to grab it in flight. Stays in flight too, so he can make his way up to the Orange Jinjo and the lighthouse. Yeah, looking with a pretty good beak bomb there. We'll see if he gets he doesn't get the dance skip. He actually lands on top of the lighthouse, so a little bit of a 5 second addition. So we'll see what Davey does here. If he decides to go for this beehive, yeah, he's going to go ahead and refill some of his health here. He wants to make sure that when he jumps off the lighthouse, he doesn't accidentally die. He wants to be safe. Wants to be okay there. So Brad making his way to the yellow Jinjo, going to jump down here towards the empty honeycomb. Ooh, and Brad not getting the fast slide. That's okay there. All right. Flight section for Davey now. A little bit low on feathers, so he'll have to pick up some extras on the tree and on the way out. Brad making his way over to the top of Nipper. Should have plenty of health to do Nipper skip. Jumps in, gets the second one, gets the third one, makes it just fine. Ooh, and actually gets the fast Talon Warp there on entering Nipper. What is the ETA for completion? We're going to be looking at probably around a 2:20 time for both of these players. Should they play to the best of their abilities, we might even see a sub 2:15 from Davey. But we're going to guess around 2:20, maybe even sub 2:20. Davey now making his way through Nipper skip. That is true. I don't do Nipper skip currently. I'm a wee little babby. All right, so Davey inside of Nipper now, getting actually some good crab spawns, so he doesn't have to worry about killing them or losing any health from them. Brad going to go for leaky skip here. He's got a good angle. Gets some good egg poops, and they managed to make it into the bucket. And we see Davey now going for the Rat-a-tat-rat. Gets it on the first try. Very good. Brad entering the last flying section here of TTC. We'll see how well it is. His other sections have been pretty good, so we're assuming that this one will be good as well. Grabs the 3 notes, is looking to get the Beak Bomb on the Jinjo. Grabs it perfectly. Grabs the Honeycomb here. Gets a nice Beak Bomb, actually. That was a really, really good Beak Bomb for this other Alcove Jiggy. And now he'll be hoping to collect this last Jiggy here in flight on top of the Shock Spring pad. He does get it. Grabs a note as well. Wants to slam the crab and the X at the same time. Very good. Davey now entering the 3rd flight section here. Ooh. Missing one of the notes there. He's got to cycle back around for that. And ooh, actually, Brad getting hit by Yum Yum, the clam there, losing some resources, but shouldn't be too big of a deal. He might pick up a health here. Oh, maybe he doesn't want to pick this health. Ooh, Davey getting kind of a tight Beak Bomb there in the alcove, and he accidentally lands. So he'll have to pick up both of these. He'll have to pick up both of these in flight. I will not be singing the Vile song. I apologize. All right, so Brad making his way inside the sandcastle. He's got 2 health, so he's got to be a little bit careful on this crab, but he should be just fine. Davey making his way up to the top. Accidentally picks up an extra health, so Davey's at 1 health more than we would like, but does get the jump off the tree. Brad did not get the jump off the tree. Oh, and he actually takes a damage on the chest. You had him at 3 health. That's pretty good. All right, so we're going to see Brad here. He's moving in for the crab. Jumps and gets it perfectly. So Brad is going to end here with the sub 17 TTC. Pretty decent time. And we're going to see Davey making his way over into the sandcastle. Brad getting a good gruntling spawn there. Doesn't get knocked off of the platform. Davey making his way to spelling Banjo-Kazooie. This is one of the prime places where you can accidentally bear punch instead of rolling. That's something that really grinds my gears, getting a random bear punch instead of a roll. All right, so Brad is making his way through the lair. He's actually got to activate this orange cauldron ahead of time because he's going to use that orange cauldron much later in the game in order to come back to the Click Clock Wood puzzle. Davey getting the good death warp on the crab as well. He's going to have a 1750-ish TTC. So about a minute behind Brad. We'll have to see him pick up some of this time save later. But no worries. They've only done 2 out of 9 levels. There's still plenty to go. We can definitely see Davey catch up here. All right, so both players are heading on to Clankers. Brad already in Clankers himself, and Brad choosing to just go for the safe gloop cycle here. He doesn't want to go for the fast jump off the side of the entrance pipe. So he's just going to play it safe. And Clankers Cavern, it might as well be called Clankers Cycles because there's so many cycles you have to hit. In Clankers, we've got Bolt Cycle, we've got Tooth Cycle, we've got Gloop Cycle. Many, many, many cycles to achieve. So one faulty movement and they might be set behind a cycle or they might be ahead of a cycle. We want to make sure that we're right on top of the cycle so that they're not losing any time. All right, so Brad making his way down to the bottom of the anvil hole where we can free Clanker. Davey also choosing to go for the safe gloop strat. He doesn't want to risk losing any extra time in case he misses the jump. So he will not be picking up any extra time on Brad here in the beginning of Clankers. Brad making his way into the bubble for the safe gloop cycle. He's going to be freeing Clanker now with the key. Davey just now starting his swim. How are you guys doing tonight? Hope you guys are enjoying the race so far. It should be a pretty good race between these two. For those who haven't watched any of these races so far, for whatever reason, this is Banjo-Kazooie 100%. happening in the speed gaming tournament that was set up by Feasel. And it should be good. We're in the top 12 now. This is actually the last match of the top 12, the bottom 8 of the top 12. And so after this match, we will see which of the runners advances into quarterfinals. So it should be pretty good. All right, so we're going to see if Brad makes the tooth cycle. He's going to collect this blue Jinjo and make his way up here. And if he's done the swimming just fine, he should be able to get this tooth cycle. Ooh, actually, it looks like Clanker's going to go ahead and go under again. So a little bit of a loss of time there. He's got to wait for the gold tooth to come above the surface again. And there you go. Brad makes it in. So we'll see if Davey can get the tooth cycle. He's going to grab a gloop bubble before he goes on his way up. There we go. Yeah, that is correct. So we do have a 224 on the left, and we do have a 213 on the right. Davey is currently behind, but Davey does have more playing experience, like Hagenator has said. Davey's been playing this game a lot more, even though Brad has a more technical knowledge of the game. We'll definitely probably see more practicality from Davey. But Brad getting both of the ring jumps. He's looking at getting the 21 rings here. Davey making the tooth cycle look easy. Yeah, Brad had a really, really good rings there, so he will get this 21. Very good. And he manages to pick up another egg as well. But, you know, this is Banjo-Kazooie, guys. Anything can happen. Either of these players could die in any level. I am casting, so, you know, Brad could die twice and Quick Luck would again, you know. You never know. Davey missing the first ring jump there. All right, so Brad is collecting this upper alcove jiggy above Clankers, and he'll be looking to do bolt jump here. We'll see if he gets it. Jumping off the corner, looking pretty good. A little bit of a late flutter, and he goes for the ground pound there, so we'll see if he can get on top of the fin. Ooh, he manages to actually get on top of the fin. So not losing the max amount of time that he could have lost from missing bolt jump, but yeah, he's looking pretty good. Ooh, and Brad accidentally missing the roll off of the pipe there. So he's got to use the fin again. Oh, and he actually misses the fin. Uh-oh. So Davey going to be picking up sometime here. Brad! Brad! Brad, what am I seeing here? All right. So Davey going to go for bolt jump here now, or not. He actually misses the platform there, so he's not going to be going for bolt jump. Brad is the one on the left. That is Hyperresonance, his real name, and it's what I know him by. So both players missing the bolt jump, but Davey picking up some time because Brad had some malfunctioning with the fin. Yeah, Davey is not Davey. Or rather, not Davey is Davey. All right, so Davey making his way through the right side of the level now, trying to do the honeycomb backflip. Manages to get it. Brad with a little bit of a low flutter, but he does manage to get into Clankers. Obviously not on the God cycle, but he still manages to not have to wait too long for the bolt. Brad is on the left. Davey is on the right. Yeah, I would call him Hyper, but it's just so unnatural for me. I just know him as Brad. And Davey looking pretty good with the whole cycle as well, waiting a little bit for the bolt. All right, so Brad has entered kind of the saw blade room. He's going to be talking to Bottles here for the last time, getting the invulnerability move with the gold feathers. Making his way past all the saw blades because the developers did not have the saw blade hitboxes on this one corner of the room. So if you walk along that seam, the saw blades will not hit you. Davey entering that same room. So Davey has picked up a considerable amount of time in this Clankers. Probably only about 20 or so seconds behind. Maybe not even that much. So, yeah, we'll see. So Brad is touching the pink Jinjo at about 25-20. Actually missing the Jiggy there. Yeah, it definitely has gotten a lot closer. We'll see. Obviously not 20 seconds, maybe 30 seconds behind, it's looking like. Because there's 25-40, which would have been 20 seconds. Yeah, it's going to be about, he's about 30 seconds behind. A little bit more than that. Yeah, about 28 seconds behind Davey is. So, has definitely closed the gap because he was a minute behind exiting TTC, and he's definitely picked up some time with the choke cities that we were seeing from Brad in Clankers. But Brad does get a good quick dive into Muty Snippet's lair, and we'll see if he gets a fast Muty Snippet's kill as well as a fast Jiggy grab. Gets both of them on the first ground pound, and he's going to be looking to poop some eggs onto the last two. Getting a pretty good spawn for both. Ooh, and he actually misses. He misses this Muty Snippet with the last egg. And he's got to hopefully get the rain from above. He manages to get it, so he didn't have to go back down and kill him, so he does get the fast Jiggy grab. Yeah, Muty Snippets can be kind of annoying. If they get a close spawn, they can kind of jump up on you when you're trying to poop eggs on them. Usually the first two are pretty easy to kill. And Davey with a little bit of a closer spawn. He still looks like he's going to be okay here. He's getting a good poop here. Oh. Manages to get it. Oh, just in time. So he does get a little bit of the delay by picking up the Talon Trot, or the Jiggy in Talon Trot, but he still gets the fast Jiggy grab. He still kills the Snippets faster than Brad did. And yeah, picks up a little bit more time there. All right, so the players are doing the rest of the water, the rest of the level underwater. Davey going for kind of the new strat where you go for the notes and end on the Jiggy. Brad doing the old strat where you go for the Jiggy and end on the honeycomb. But both players are going to be drowning at the end of Clankers. That is their way of death warping back to the main area, the beginning of the level. That's what I wanted to say. The beginning of the level. How much do I get by the minute? I get $0.00. This was a volunteer position that I took because I was available, and I like talking about Banjo-Kazooie. One of my near and dear speed games myself. But I appreciate it. I appreciate the compliment. Thank you very much. So Brad making his way out of Clankers. Davey now drowning. So yeah, Davey has definitely closed the gap. When we saw him exiting TTC to now exiting Clanker's Cavern, he's definitely closed the gap. Both players now making their way to the back of the lair section to enter the Bubble Goop Swamp puzzle. And those are not actually the runners. Oh no! Davey falls off the pipe. So Davey's got to go back up there to hit the switch. Oh no. All right, so Davey definitely has to, he's got to hit the switch because he's got to be able to get back there and open up the, he's got to be able to open up the hatch to get back there for the Bubble Goop Swamp puzzle. So loses a little bit of time there against Brad. Yeah, Nightbot is getting both the runners and the commentary wrong. Those are actually DKC runners and DKC commentators. But you should go and give them a follow too. Those guys are also pretty cool. The Donkey Kong Country guys are a barrel of laughs, just like a barrel of monkeys. They're a lot of fun to be around. All right, so Davey again losing a little bit of time from falling off the pipe. I don't actually think we've seen that in the tournament yet, falling off that pipe. Not something we normally see out of players. They like to collect all of those feathers and make their way. But Davey with a little bit of a choke, not too big of a deal. All right, so on my screen, I see that Brad has frozen. Oh, maybe the restream is just getting it wrong. There we go. Okay, timer and oh, here we go. Stream is being refreshed. Let's give us a second, ladies and gentlemen. All right, so here we go. We're back. All right, so Brad made his way to the back of the Bubble Goop Swamp area in order to open up Freeze Easy Peak. Davey just now entering the Freeze Easy Swamp, Bubble Goop Swamp section. And Brad making his way inside of Bubble Goop Swamp. And Brad's on a pretty good pace. Entering Bubble Goop Swamp before 31 minutes is definitely on a sub 220 pace. So Brad is definitely on PB pace. Davey's still not too far behind him. Maybe just about a minute behind. We'll see when he enters. Bubble Goop Swamp, kind of a boring level, speed game wise. Just kind of some close, fast movements here in general, but nothing too tricky. Just a couple of health management strats. And Davey deciding not to refill on the beehive. So just about 40 seconds behind for Davey. Just about 40 seconds behind. Does get the first Croctus shot. Oh, actually misses the first Croctus shot. So Brad is going to have a little bit more health in this section. And Davey will not. But that's okay because both players will be managing their health just fine, making sure that they don't die. We're going to see Davey drop to 1 health here. Oh, maybe we're not. He decided he wanted to pick up an extra. He wanted to pick up an extra health there because he was behind on the leaf cycle. All right, so Brad making his way up to the timer jiggy, the first timer jiggy. Getting a good jump there from the green Jinjo. Going to be pulling out an 18. Very good. Davey making his way through these swamps. So normally you were supposed to pick up those notes in the back with the wading boots, but the wading boots are really, really slow. So we just take damage and we just make sure that we don't die. That's probably the most important thing. Obviously, if you die in Banjo-Kazooie, you lose all of your note progress. So if you don't have 100 notes, guess what? You're collecting all 100 notes again. That's kind of the big error that we might see from either of these runners in today's match. So Davey actually playing it very smart, keeping the camera away from the Croctus until he needed to see him to make sure that the Croctus cycle was in his favor. Brad making his way up the Mud Hut jumps, doing very good with them. And Davey going to be getting a 17 on the timer jiggy. And we'll see if Brad gets the cutscene skip here. Ooh, manages to get it. Very good. Plays it very safe, too. All right, so Davey now killing the Flibbits with the gold feathers. Brad making his way over to the big gator in order to get the back Croctus here. Why do I keep calling him Davey even though his name is not Davey? Well, it's just easier to say Davey versus not Davey. All right, so Davey making his way up the mud huts now, doing very good on the first couple jumps. Brad collecting some of these notes back here with the wading boots now. We don't want to take damage back here. It's just a little bit easier to take the wading boots even though they are slower. And we'll see if Davey gets the cutscene skip now. And decides to play it safe. He just goes ahead and waits for the Croctus shot to go in. Calling him ND. That sounds like such a terrible idea. All right. So Brad picking up some extra health here since he got hit by the Buzz Bomb. We want to be at 6 health with the old strat. Oh, and Brad accidentally falling in the swamp there, losing some health. Maybe he'll kill the Buzz Bomb here for some health, and he does. Very good. But the new strat, actually, I believe you only need 3 health with the new strat. And the new strat, you just take the wading boots twice in the hedge maze. But Brad, he is definitely a bit of an older runner, so he's doing just the old strats that he's comfortable with. Davey, obviously, like we said, he's been playing the game a lot more. Ooh, Davey even manages to pull out a quick climb there. Brad would not be happy to see that. But again, he does pull off the quick climb successfully, so he does save 0.2 seconds with the quick climb. And Brad, okay, took a damage to the turtle there, and now he's trying to remember which turtle it was. What is he doing? He's running around in circles. Why is he not just talking to Tip Top again? Okay, Brad, please. Blue, pink, purple. Brad. Blue, pink, purple. He really could not remember. 3. That's... Whew! Alright, so Davey definitely picking up some time here. Playing it safe, but managing to catch up to Brad here. And if Davey actually gets the first tip-top round skip, he might even be tied with Brad here. Ooh, and he accidentally doesn't get hit off of Tip Top. So he will still be one phase behind Brad in Turtles. Yeah, there you go. The Nightbot has successfully edited them. So you can now follow the runners. You can follow me as well if you choose. Pretty unnecessary, but if you are really such a fan of my voice and my enthusiasm, then sure, go ahead and pop that follow button. But definitely follow the runners. Brad missing the tip-top code again. Why is he not writing them down? I'm sick. So he's got to listen to the last code of tip-top here again. So Davey is definitely caught up, just about 5 seconds behind Brad here. Yes, the turtles actually hurt you if you get their code wrong. All right, so Brad finishes up the last turtle phase. Davey, close behind him, finishes up there as well. So yeah, Brad definitely lost a lot of time there. Exiting tipped up there at about 38:04. Yeah, I mean, we're seeing Davey is only about 10 seconds behind here. Are you going to hear the Mr. Revile song? Absolutely not. Sorry to say. So Brad, with the notes that the health that he lost, I think he's going to refill health here in the beehive because he wants to. Oh, nope, he is going to go for the 2 wading boot strats. Davey, I think, is at a good health point, so he's going to take the 2 wading boots as well. There is no vote on the Mr. Vile song. I will not sing the Mr. Vile song. That is a DickusCon exclusive, so I apologize for not giving you that exclusive. All right, so yeah, Davey just coming right behind here. Brad is hyper. Brad is on the left. Yeah. All right, so both players coming up to the timer jiggy here. Brad doing it in town trot like a master. Davey deciding to play it safe with the flutters. Sing the song the chat demands. If you do, we'll clap our hands. Can I get a ha-ha in the chat, please? All right, so both players make their way into Mumbo's now. They're gonna go ahead and talk to Mumbo now. In order to turn them into the gator. And both players are going to be making their way to Mr. Vile. Also, I can't sing, so why would you want me to sing the Vile song? You know, that's Dickus Khan, Mr. Music Major. I think he's a little bit more qualified to sing the Vile song, so don't be upset. In fact, I'm sure that Dickus Khan will be streaming later tonight. You can watch him, and he'll probably sing the Vile song for you. All right, so with the use of FFM, both players do have access to the running shoes, so Mr. Vile isn't too tough. Runners have lost to Mr. Vile with the running shoes before, so it is possible, but we don't exactly see it all the time. So Davey doing his best to collect all of the collectibles in the Vile room. Brad opting not to collect all of these. And we've got some time to kill here as both players make their way through Vile. And yeah, as you can see, Brad is just about 3 seconds ahead of Davey here. I don't think something is missing. I think Davey just caught up that quickly. Yeah, I think Davey just had really, really good movement. So Brad and Davey now on the second round of Vile. And here we go. They are racing Mr. Vile. He is a greedy crocodile who usually does not make people smile. Yeah. Can I get a ha-ha in the chat, please? All right, so, yeah, still more time to kill. I just want to give a shout-out to Feasel, again, for organizing the Banjo-Kazooie tournament for us. You know, the BK community is pretty active, I think, with races, and it's pretty cool to have it get a little bit more exposure, have it get a little more publicity with the Speed Gaming channel. So I just wanted to give a shout out to Feasel for doing that for us. It's been a lot of fun. I think everybody has really enjoyed participating in the tournament so far. All right, so the third round, they have to be careful of what they're eating. The Yumblies versus the Grumblies, because if they eat the wrong one, they will choke on it for a little length of time, and Vile basically gets to do whatever he wants. So they want to make sure that neither of them choke. Yeah, I don't think anybody will lose to Vile. Losing to Vile is a pretty, like, it's not necessarily like a brain dead thing, but you really have to be like not paying attention or get really bad RNG in order to lose to Vile. Brad is definitely not going to lose to Vile. Davey is definitely not going to lose to Vile. GG to both players. And both players are going to be getting a high 44 Bubble Group Swamp. Davey actually avoiding the extra Vile text, so he even picks up a little bit more time on Brad there. And both players making their way into the back section underneath the mud huts in order to collect the rest of the 100 notes and the last Jiggy as the croc. And then they'll be making their way to Gobi's Valley. And Cosmic Heart, I know you're in the chat. I know you're there. Go ahead and tell the folks what Gobi's Valley is. Why don't you go ahead and tell them what it is? Gobi's Valley is where dreams go to die. That is absolutely correct. So anything could happen in this Gobi's Valley. There's a lot of strats that these players are going to go for, and we'll see who is successful. We'll see who is unsuccessful. We'll see who gets swaggering. We'll see who gets Gobi clip, who gets grab a skip. All of those interesting strats. Anything can happen in this next level. We might see one of these players jump a minute ahead of each other. We might see the players continue on this nice neck and neck path that they're currently on. But it is Gobi's. Gobi's is known as the second run killer. Ooh, and Brad missing Grunny's arm. That means that Davey takes the lead. Let's just say I woke up and I was sick to my stomach from watching Brad's Turtles. All right, so, yeah, Davey now in the lead from not missing the arm. But still a very, very close race. But like I said, we're coming up to Gobi's Valley. Anything could happen, ladies and gentlemen, anything. All right, both players smashing the shock spring pad and heading on over to the note door to open up Gobi's Valley. Also, hello, Smasher. Daddy32. Yeah, Brad says that the run in general is AIDS, even though he's on PB pace. Classic Brad. Classic Brad. All right, so Davey touching onto the puzzle just about 3 or 4 seconds before, just before Brad. So it's still really, really close. Still very, very close. I'm doing fine, Smasher. How are you doing, dude? How goes it in the land of Massachusetts? I think that's where you live.
Hey everybody, Smasher lives in Massachusetts.
All right, so NotDavie making his way into Gobi's. Brad right on his tail. So we're gonna see which of these players gets swaggering. That's kind of the first kind of time save that one of these players might be getting. And swaggering is where they're able to go through 2 ancients with the same running shoes. So we'll see if either of them get it. Davey and Brad both missing swaggering. So the next thing that we're going to see is Gobi clip. So, wow, I cannot believe how close this race is. I mean, we're 48 minutes in, and you can just see that, yeah, Davey isn't even a full note ahead of Brad yet. Oh, and Brad decides to end the waiting boots and just play it safe. He doesn't want to do Gobi clip. Oh, and neither does Davey. Interesting. So both players are going to be making their way up to Jinxie. They're going to grab another Mumbo Totem, or no, they're not. They decide they don't need that Mumbo Totem, but they're just going to be shooting the eggs into Jinxie's nose. Davey just a little bit ahead. Yeah, they both decided that Gobi clip was not worth it. So Brad, because he rolled off during the egg cutscene, just catches up to Davey, and now both of these players are literally neck and neck. But Brad missing the first egg shot means Davey is back in the lead. Oh, but Brad gets the third egg shot on the way up from the second one. There's that technical knowledge coming into play here for Brad. Very good. Right, so Brad grabs the Mumbo token there in the center of the ring. So he'll be on his way out of Jinxie first. We'll see if he gets this nice angle for this Ancient. He's got to turn the camera. Ooh, and I don't know there. It might have already risen. Oh, nope. He manages to get it. Very good. And Davey does too. Gets it just fine. Doesn't waste as much time as Brad did there. So they're going to be making their way to the first mini Jinxie and into the memory pyramid. Yeah, both of those were pretty sketchy, I would have to agree. All right, so King Sandybutt's temple rises just a little bit. Both players making their way into the back of the memory period in order to grab a Jinjo and spawn the Cactus Honeycomb. And what do we think we're going to see from these players in the memory puzzle? Will we see a 69? Probably not. I'm going to go ahead and say 68. We might see a 69, probably a 67 if they don't get a good mummy spawn. But we'll see how it's looking from Brad. Yeah, King Sandybutt, that is the name of the mummy. And Brad, I don't know. Definitely could maybe get a 69 with this, but probably not. So both of these players, they have this pattern memorized. Luckily for us, this pattern is the same. Oh, and Brad doesn't have it memorized. Let's just say I woke up and I was sick to my stomach. All right, so Brad definitely not getting a 69. Getting a 62, and Davey catches up just a little bit there. All right, both exiting the memory pyramid basically around the same time. Davey definitely catching up with this movement. And we'll see. Okay, both players just deciding to go for the quick egg shots. They don't want to also do the jump onto the flight pad. But both of them are going to be going for this beak bomb into... This is kind of a tight flying section here. They got a lot to do. They're going to beak bomb through the third ancient, which both of them get around the same time. Then they're going to be beak bombing over to Grabba. Both of them getting good beak bombs there, good angles. And now we're going to see Grabba skip from both players. Brad with a good angle. Davey with a good angle. Holy crap. And now both of them going for the target. Ooh, Brad taking less time to set it up and gets the ground pound. Oh, but he misses the target. Oh, no. So Brad trying to be a little bit of a, you know, he was trying to be a little sexy. He's trying to show off for the audience. Actually misses the target. So this is what we mean by where runs go to die. So yeah, Davey already grabbing the Ruby Jiggy. Oh, and Brad setting up this. Oh, okay. He finally gets the last egg in the pot. So he's making his way up to the top of Ruby now. And Davey takes the lead out of Brad. All right, so Davey's going to be making his way over to Gobi now. He's got a free Gobi so that we can abuse him later in the run. Brad making his way to the Ancient. He's got to make his way to the last mini Jinxie here. All right, so we'll see Davey. Oh, and Davey, okay, doing a little bit of a weird setup for this cactus, but he manages to get it just fine. Davey's going to be trying to pick up this beak bomb Jiggy in flight. We'll see if he grabs it. Ooh, it's looking like it's going to keep him in flight. That's really nice. Oh, and he accidentally lands, so that's okay. Brad with a really downward angle onto the Jiggy. I think he can still manage to pick this up in flight. He's got to do a little bit of a circle here. There we go. He manages to get it. So, Brad a little bit low on feathers, but he can pick some up on the way up the water temple. You can see Davey making his way up the water temple right now. And the water temple isn't too hard to screw up. But fun fact, the water temple timer is not actually associated with the door. In fact, if you pause the game while the timer is going, the timer will say like 7 seconds left or whatever, but the game keeps going. And so the door will actually be shut, even though the timer will be still going. Fun fact for those who didn't know. And Brad missing the Mumbo token there in the water pyramid, so he is going to have to pick up an extra one later in the game. Yeah, I mean, this is what we talked about. This is where dreams go to die. Davey, of course, gets the better gobies. Brad gets kind of a mediocre gobies. So we'll have to see what happens. Davey using the camera angle to his advantage, making his way up to the top of the last ancient, so that the ancient Jiggy spawns. Brad doing the same, making sure to keep the camera where it's supposed to be. Very good. And now he's going to be making his way into Sandy Butt's temple, just like Davey is. See, there you go on your screen, King Sandy Butt's tomb. And Davey tries to go for the text skip, doesn't get it, but he does get on top of the maze and falls in. So he'll go for the backup here now. Brad trying to be cheeky again with the text skip, still doesn't even get it. Are feathers really 1331? That's actually really, really low feather count for Freeze Easy Peak. So we might see Brad, you know what, I can maybe see Brad picking up the 10 feathers on the ramp as well as the extra token behind the presence in Freeze Easy Peak. That's probably what's going to happen. All right, so both players doing the swim now. Brad actually taking some damage on the way down, which puts him at the perfect 4 health BK count, which is kind of where you want to be. Davey is just about 3 notes ahead of Brad, making his way around these notes and back to the Jiggy. Yeah, 13. That's kind of a low feather count. The good news is we don't need too many feathers in Mad Monster Mansion. We just need about 5 to get to the top of the church. But Brad will definitely want to pick up some extra in Freeze Easy Peak, I think. Otherwise, he's going to have a very, very tight Quick Lock Wood. Oh, and he's actually going to go ahead and pick up some feathers here. Brad collecting health. I don't know why. Why is he at full health? Why does he want to be at full health? All right, so Davey has considerably taken a nice lead here. Just not refilling health, not having to climb for extra feathers, collecting the 10th Jiggy himself. Beak bombing over here to Grabba. Or I mean to Gobi rather, not to Grabba. Missing the ground pound a couple times though. Yeah, I'm not sure, Hag. I'm not sure why he decided he wanted to be at full health. Oh, maybe that's why, because he was going to fall in the sand there. All right, so Davey with 4 health. He's got the perfect amount. Davey is going to be getting a low 59 Gobi's Valley. Ooh, almost even got a 58. Tism, that's why. Okay, that explains it all. So Brad, with just a touch of a Tism, gets some health. All right, so Davey has already made his way out, and Brad is now about 30 seconds or so behind Davey. And Davey misses the shock spring jump, so he's going to have to wait for it to come back around. Both players just kind of making some amateur mistakes, but still on a very, very good pace. Both players can definitely do well. Brad accidentally gets hit by the Scaby there, and he's going to accidentally take... Oh, he actually didn't take damage there. That was weird. Although, since he hit the Scaby, he is behind on the shock spring pad. So, still making some mistakes here. So both players now have to do the long, long swim to Mad Monster Mansion puzzle. And, oh man, we're seeing some incredible frame rate coming out of Brad's stream. All right, so nothing really to say here about the swim. This is kind of the most boring part. Fun fact, I did decide this the other day. I am offering a $100 bounty for anybody who can find MMM early. Basically, find a way to get inside MMM without doing this puzzle. And I'll give you $100 because that would save about 2 minutes in the run. Not having to swim all the way back here to do this dumb swim for a puzzle. It's kind of the most out of the way puzzle, and it's really like there's no other reason to come back here besides the puzzle. With or without levitate. Yeah, find a way to make it RTA viable in 100% run with no glitches, blah, blah, blah. You know, with no cheats, I should say. Glitches are more than welcome. But it's got to be RTA. It's got to be able to be used in 100% speedrun. We cannot do the puzzle while doing the one for Gobi's Valley because we don't have 450 notes at that point. You have to get past that 450 note door. And we just don't have that many notes. After 4 levels, we only have 400. Alright, so Davey making his way up the chin and into the lava section. He's going to be making his way over to the MMM lobby. Brad doing the same. Both players making sure to... Brad taking damage there. That's a... amateur mistake, Brad. Both players making sure to activate the pink cauldron there because they are going to be resetting shortly after finishing MMM. And they want to make sure that they can take that pink cauldron shortcut back to that section of the lair. So... I want to stress that while both players have made some mistakes, some movement mistakes, both players are still playing on a pretty good pace. I don't think Davey is on PB pace. Brad definitely is. But again, Davey's in the lead. And Davey accidentally ground pounding from a little bit too high of a height takes damage there on top of the cellar door. Gold feathers a couple of these rum barrels for a totem and the jiggy. Yeah, RTA is just real-time attack. It's just a way of like separating tool-assisted speedruns from actual people speedrunning. Basically, if I'm gonna give you the $100, I have to be able to recreate the glitch. Like, if it's only done in a task environment, then the glitch is useless to me. It's got to be able to be done by humans. Alright, so MMM, one of my favorite levels, both casually and as a speedrun. A lot of really quick movement in and out of these windows, in and out of the rooms. And both players opting to go for the strat where you collect the note on the left. Yeah, SHM is my nickname because people don't like taking the time to actually say Secret Humor Man. I think I prefer SHM though. I think I've been called it enough now to where I prefer it. Alright, so Davey making his way on top of the chairs. He wants to make sure that he doesn't wake up Napper. If you fall off the chairs, you wake up Napper, and then you have to climb all the way back to the top of the mansion and jump into the chimney, and that takes a lot of time. All right, so Brad doing the same here, making sure not to fall off the chairs. Very good. And Brad trying to go for the jiggy skip, doesn't get it. Brad's just trying to be cheeky boy. Cheeky task creator boy. All right, so we see Davey making his way through the hedge maze. He's going to be going for hive jump here. Kind of the only way to get out of the hedge maze in the direction that we want to get to, because the gate is closed and you can't open it from this side. So he's going to jump on the beehive when it pops its head up and hopes to get on top of the hedge. Having a little trouble with it. Doesn't get it on the second try. Gets it on the third try. Does a good job there. And the gravestone, the Ripper, actually gets in the way, so he does have to do fast poop. The slow way still hasn't made it in the pot, but Brad is struggling just the same with hive jump. Brad makes it out. But Brad is having trouble pooping the eggs in the pot as well. Brad's still having trouble pooping the eggs in the pot. Davey as well, still having some trouble. Yeah, speedrun races are always very entertaining, very fun. Alright, so Brad picked up some time there, but Davey obviously still in the lead. Jumping over the hedge here. Yeah, ha ha ha. Common urban legend that the pots say F you. But they don't say F you, they say thank you. It's just in Grant Kirkhope's very deep voice, but he is saying thank you. He is not saying F you. Alright, and both players going for a quicker tumbler strat, where you take some damage on the grunny switches. Brad having to oh, Brad actually taking the lead because Davey choked on that note. Oh, but Brad now losing the lead because he got hit by the tee-hee. He's waiting for the tee-hee to come around now. He doesn't want to get hit again. Oh, man, this is just like a back and forth. Nice roller coaster run. So Davey wasn't in the lead for about 2 seconds, but takes the lead again, exiting Tumbler. Gets hit by a limbo on the way to the back of the shock spring, though, so loses a little bit of time there. And both players basically jumping off the shed at the same time. So we'll see who gets a fast gate knockoff. Davey gets a fast one, so does Brad. Man, both players basically shock spring at the same time. Who will get the Jinjo skip? Both players get it. Actually, Davey misses it, so Brad is in the lead. Oh, but Brad does not get the Mumbo token inside of the whip crack. Oh man, what a hype race. So Brad is back in the lead after Davey missed the oh no, and Davey misses the running shoes. Oh, Davey's got to really hustle here. If you miss the running shoes, it is really, really tight here to make it in the church. I think he'll be able to make it though. 3, 2, 1. Oh, he's pause buffering the timer. Smart. Making sure he doesn't miss it. Okay, good. So he makes it in the timer. Very good. Brad getting a bad tee spawn. He's going to have to waste a gold feather here. Davey getting a bad tee spawn as well. A bad Brad tee spawn. Lamau. All right, both players making their way on top of the pews. And now they have to make their way up to Motsand. And knowing Brad's memory, we can only assume that he's going to screw up the Motsand piano pattern as well. So hopefully he's got it on hand. And Brad hits the G key before the G key is registered. All right, so Brad is doing good right now. Okay, he's got the first one memorized. Let's see if he gets the second one. No! Wrong one! B flat, Brad. No, Brad! No, Brad! B flat. There you go. F sharp. We can do this. Here we go. E flat. Yes. A. Yes. D. Yes. C sharp. Good. A. F. E. Oh no, it's B and then E flat. Okay. All right. You just needed a little bit of a reminder there. Jesus Christ. So actually, because Davey knew it, Davey's back in the lead. Just like that. And Brad, actually with a bad limbo spawn, is actually going to have to waste another gold feather in order to kill the limbo, whereas Davey did not need to do that. All right, so both players making their way to the top of the church. Brad managing to have enough feathers to get up here. What a race, ladies and gentlemen. All right, so they're going to be making their way out of the church, and they're going to be making their way to the top of the church to collect some more notes, as well as another jig. Oh no! Oh no! Brad dies to a tee in the church! And ladies and gentlemen, that might be it. No, Brad decides he's gonna keep going. He didn't realize he had no gold feathers. No, Brad, not like this. Oh no. So Brad now has to go through and collect all of the notes. Oh man. Because he ran out of gold feathers. That is a big bummer, for sure. Oh man, so unless Davey makes a mistake similar to that, Davey will definitely see himself as in the lead here. There is still more than an hour left of this game. So anything again could happen, but it's really going to be up to Davey to die in order for Brad to catch up again. But that is a big time loss there for Brad, having to recollect all these notes. Hopefully Brad remembers to reopen the windows. I don't know if he already did that or not, but he does have to reopen the windows for the pumpkin. And we'll see what happens. Davey could die in winter. We don't know. Looks like Brad got ghosted, yeah. So I don't know if Brad opened the windows. Yeah. I'm not sure if he opened the windows, guys, and he's got to reopen the windows to get in with the pumpkins. And Brad's also got to do pots again. I don't know if Brad has enough eggs. Oh, yeah, he's got plenty. So, Brad died in the church. Davey is on his way to the well to exit MMM here. So Brad definitely lost probably about 4 to 5 minutes alone doing that. And it really sucks because he really just has to go everywhere now. He has to go back into Tumblr. He has to go, back in the church. He's got to do a lot. So Davey, about to exit MMM with the pumpkin, as you're supposed to, so that we can raise the water to get to Rusty Bucket Bay. Yep, that is the one thing about Banjo-Kazooie, guys, that is super punishing. Dying without having the 100 notes. You really have to collect all 100 notes again in 100%. Otherwise, it's not 100%. So Brad, unfortunately, seeing that right now, he didn't realize that he was out of gold feathers, and he's got to make his way through MMM again. But anything could happen. You know, maybe Davey dies in Rusty Bucket Bay, dies in Engine Room. Maybe Davey dies in Quick Clock Wood. We never know. The race is not over. There's still plenty to go. So we'll see what happens, and I'll still be here casting. So see what's happening. All right, Davey, resetting the console. Because resetting the console is allowed. And it is the fastest way to get back to the Freeze Easy Peak section. So I'm curious as to what Brad is going to be doing now, because he does have a couple of notes to collect on top of these pews. I'm not sure what he wants to do. No, Xbox and N64 are on the same leaderboard. So, oh, he's actually flying up here for a gold feather. Okay. Oh my gosh, he is getting both gold feathers literally up here on the top of the church. Okay, sure. So, he's going to grab one side here. Very good. Davey now re-entering the pink cauldron, like we said earlier. Oh my gosh. Brad just got so screwed. The Teehee did a little circle. Oh no. I don't know if Brad can do this. There's no other gold feathers in the church. He's got to really think about what he's going to do here. So the Teehee did a little circle there and actually missed. Oh my God, Brad. Oh man. This is definitely the tilter right here. This would be something that would make me forfeit 100%. There he goes. He finally gets the last note on the pew. And wham bam, he's out of the church. He's back on track. You see Davey in Freeze Easy Peak, definitely way ahead of Brad now. Probably about 4 minutes, maybe even 4.5 with the reset. Brad struggling to make on the top of the church here. There he goes. He finally gets it. And Davey is doing the classic Twinkly Crusher skip. Basically, as long as you kill the first Twinkly Crusher, they don't spawn. I mean, they do spawn, but the game doesn't register that they spawn, so all the Twinklies just go straight into the tree. All right, so Brad making his way over to the pumpkin, and ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna find out if he opened these windows or not. I'm really not sure if he did, and if he didn't, we might even see a forfeit. Oh my gosh, and Brad, with the worst amount of luck, he gets the wishy-washy. Oh no, Brad got T-Rexed! Unbelievable, Brad got T-Rexed in a race! Oh my gosh! Brad with the worst amount of luck. Unbelievable. So T-Rexing is where Mumbo transforms you into BK and doesn't actually turn you into anything. And the probability of a T-Rex happening is literally like, I think it's 0.3%. It is like the worst luck. Oh my gosh. Bad luck, Brad. I cannot believe he just got a T-Rex. That's definitely the first T-Rex we've seen in the BK tournament because, again, the chances of it happening are so low. But that's just something that you don't see every day. We saw Lazy yesterday got a wishy-washy. And that's where, again, Mumbo doesn't turn you into what you're supposed to be. He turns you into the washing machine. But a T-Rex, really, you just don't see that happening. So we call it a T-Rex because Mumbo says that the T-Rex spell didn't work, and he's going to save it for the next game, which if you play Banjo-Tooie, you know that you do get to turn into the baby T-Rex and the daddy T-Rex. So we just call it the T-Rex because that's what he calls it. But he doesn't turn you into anything. Basically, it's just a waste of time. Wishy-Washy is, again, also just a waste of time, but he actually turns you into the washing machine. All right, so Brad making his way to the end of MMM now, into the well. And he's got full health here. So he's got to take a lot of damage on the whip cracks. I think the chance on Wishy-Washy is like maybe, let's see. I know it's lower than 10%, but it's not as low as T-Rex, which is 0.3%. Brad with the weirdest camera angle I've ever seen. Finally, the camera readjusts to see him. Brad is definitely like probably 6 or so minutes behind. Davey is in the lead. Davey is in Freeze Easy Peak. Freeze Easy Peak being a level that you would casually play before MMM, but in the speed run, it's after MMM. It's definitely not 1 out of 30. 1 out of 30 for T-Rex is too large of a probability. It's much less than that. I don't think 10% is right for Wishy-Washy either, because bonks in Tooie, where Jam Jar bonks on the top of the lid, when you learn a move, that's 1 out of 10. And bonks happen way more often than Wishy-Washy does. I think Wishy-Washy might be 1 out of 50. Maybe a 2% chance. I think it's 1 out of 50, and then it's like 1 out of 100. Anyways, let's focus on the gameplay here. We've got some whahays going on in NotDavie's stream as he's racing Boggy for the first time. Some people like to spam whahay 1K. Or you can spam those stiv wahays. Brad will be making his way into Freeze Easy Peak shortly, as soon as he gets there. But yeah, with Davey already being the Walrus, he's definitely gotten a huge lead on Brad here. And it's going to be up to Davey to make a mistake somehow, die either in Freeze Easy Peak or in Rusty Bucket Bay or in Click Clock Wood for Brad to kind of close the gap. But again, guys, this is Banjo-Kazooie 100%. Anything can happen. Trust me when I say that. Anything can happen. So it's just going to come down to the wire here. But as for now, Davey does have about a 6-minute lead on Brad. So strap in. That's what we're going to see here. Yeah, that's also very true. He could die on the game board as well. We don't see that too often from runners nowadays, but still something that could happen. Dying in front is fun. All right, so what do we got here? Davey's going to be finishing up the Walrus section. He's going to grab an extra Mumbo token as well as the present, and then he's going to be making his way back into Mumbo. What happens if the game freezes? They would have to redo any level that they were currently on if they didn't already have 100 notes. Although I'm assuming that if we see a game freeze, we're probably going to see a forfeit. That's just my guess. So Brad going for the cheeky no-look strat on these egg shots. We'll see if he gets it. Oh yeah, he looked really good on those shots. Manages to shoot the star without looking at the star. And will we see Brad go for YOLO Star? We will see. He's going to pick up some feathers. He knows he's low. He knows he was a Mumbo token down. Look at that. It's almost like I know something about the game. I predicted that he was going to do that. All right, so Davey making his way up the scarf. Brad is going to go for YOLO Star here. Gets 1, 2, 3. Wow, great job. So it picks up a little bit of time on Davey. Even though Davey didn't do YOLO Star, Brad did do YOLO Star. Picks up a little bit of time. And Brad getting a weird angle there for the second button. Manages to get it, though. Low on feathers. We'll see if he can get inside the pipe with this. Oh, yeah. He's just going to go ahead and get inside the pipe. Good. Grabs the pipe, Jiggy. Davey's going to be making his way on top of the hat and then making his way to Boggy's kids. Because, you know, Boggy's kids have a bad dad. He's out racing and gambling his Jiggies away instead of buying Christmas presents for his kids. And fun fact, in this game, all Boggy's kids are dudes, but in Banjo-Tooie, one of them turns into a girl. So, explain that, Rareware. Alright, so Davey playing it safe, not going to take damage on the way down. Brad making his way up to the top of the tree. I mean, maybe they're not all dudes. Maybe one is a girl and she's just topless, and they're just topless children. Rareware has topless girl children in a children's game, in a children's video game, but that's what it is. All right, so Brad out of the tree now, and Davey making his way around the snowman's legs. So Davey's coming up to the last section here of Freeze Easy Peak. He's just got to race Boggy one more time. Brad knocking out snowmen left and right with these last remaining feathers. And we're going to see Davey doing the Bogster here. Ooh, and Davey's going to do right leg. Makes it all the way around. Very good. Very good on Davey. And you're more than welcome to spam some Wahey 1Ks again if you wish. Davey just making his way through here. We want to make sure that we pick up these notes and these Jinjos while we're racing Boggy, you know, kind of killing two birds with one stone. Wow, Wahey 2K. PogChamp. And Davey is just making sure that Boggy takes the lead here before the present so that Boggy goes really slow. Boggy has really, really bad rubber banding. So if you're like way ahead of him, he speeds up really fast, and if you're really behind him, he slows down really slow. So Davey's just making sure that he's behind Boggy at a certain point in order to grab the last remaining note. That way he can make his way up to the top, grab a Jiggy, and then enter Waza's Cave for the last and final Jiggy. Brad now, don't let those Wahey 1Ks die out just ladies and gentlemen, because Brad is doing Boggy Race and #1 as we speak. So let's get those Wahey 1Ks going again. Brad actually doing left leg and gets it. Very nice. All right, so Davey going for the last swim here. Making sure to take damage in the water there. He's going to grab the honeycomb. Death warp on the chinker. And he's going to exit Freeze Easy Peak. For those of you calling me a racist, I'm not. That is actually what they're called. They are called chinkers. Look it up. I'm not lying. Ice cubes are called chinkers. I am not kidding. I wish I was making that up, but that's what it is. All right, so Brad making his way through Boggy, getting a nice Boggy push as well. Davey making his way through these witch switches. So, ha ha ha, racist with the Boggy race going on.
Can I get a on the chat, please?
Alright, so Davey getting both of the Witch Switch Jiggies in flight. He's going to be making his way up to Rusty Bucket Bay, which a lot of people can be a, this is kind of the casual players, this can be the casual players' nightmare. Sometimes it can be the runner's nightmare, depending on how well the engine room goes. But both of these players are experienced enough with Rusty Bucket Bay that we shouldn't see an issue out of either of them. But we could see the nav room soft lock from either of these players if they don't play it safe. And if one of them soft locks a nav room, they will have to collect all 100 notes again. So we will see what happens. But for right now, Davey making his way over to the Rusty Bucket Bay puzzle. He's got to unlock the room before he can unlock the puzzle, before he can unlock the level. So there you go. He's going to unlock the room right there, beak busting through. He's going to unlock the puzzle by putting all the puzzle pieces in order. And just like that, the level opens. So yeah, Rusty Bucket Bay. Some runners like to call this level Rusty Bucket Bay. But we'll see what happens. See what happens. Davey could die in engine room. It is a possibility. But even dying in engine room really only loses about a minute to a minute and a half. So, Brad still has his work cut out for him. Yes, Tetsu. They do FFM to get all the moves. It is about a 2 to 3 minute time save. So basically all Banjo-Kazooie runs nowadays do it. All right, Brad getting to readjust on the camera there. Davey having some trouble jumping onto the porthole, but managing to get on top there. Brad taking some fall damage. Hi, my name is Secret Humor Man. It's in the bottom center of your screen right now. I am on the mic. Thanks for the compliments. I appreciate it. All right, so Davey making his way through the headache that is engine room. He misses a no, so the pipes are going to be a little bit faster than he's used to. But he makes it across just fine. Actually is a little bit behind this cycle, so he makes it on top. So he's got one switch down, and now he's got to get through the fan blades. So he's got to center the platform. He's going to roll in. He's going to walk into the fan blades, roll, then double flutter. And even with the knockback, he does get on top there. Ooh, almost even falls off there. Just got to play it safe. He's a little nervous here, making sure he doesn't die. And now he's got to do one more fan blade in order to get out of this engine room. Walks into it, rolls, double flutters, makes it through. Very good on Davey. Davey looks like he's not going to die in engine room. So the last thing that Davey's got to do is clip through this engine room wall. Shouldn't be too hard. A lot of players clip through this pretty quickly all the time. Oh yes, please be spamming those hey 1Ks. And Davey makes it through with still about 60 seconds to spare. So he's got plenty of time to collect some collectibles before worrying about, oh no, Brad. Oh no, Brad. Brad fails the boggy race number 2. And with that, Brad just lost about another minute. So rest in peace. All right, so Davey making his way, still collecting collectibles in Rusty Bucket Bay. I honestly didn't see the flag that he failed, so I couldn't tell you if it was Brad's fault or not. Cole is telling me that it's not, but... He went through them, but it didn't work. Well, I would have to see the clip. Because if you hug too closely to the flagpoles, sometimes they don't register. And Boggy's going way too fast here, and Brad's going to have to do the Boggy race again! Oh my gosh! Guys, I think there's a direct correlation between me commentating and Brad speedrunning. We can't do both at the same time. So Brad going for the second Boggy race for the third time in a row here. Now probably about 8 to 9 minutes behind Davey. So even Davey dying in Rusty Bucket Bay would still probably put Davey in the lead. So Brad making sure again that Boggy is well ahead of him, so Boggy starts to slow down. And Davey's got to be careful here. Only got 2 health inside a boss box, but he's making it up okay. Yeah, Wahey 3K. Oh my gosh, he fails it again! And it's over. And he's done. He doesn't want to do it again. Oh my goodness gracious. Bradley. Oh my gosh. All right, Brad. So, Brad's going to be doing the race for a 4th time. We're going to be seeing this race in 4K high definition. Wahey 4K high definition. Davey trying to collect this Mumbo token up here. It's really not letting him get it. Brad not jumping through the gates this time, just making sure to... Just making sure to... There he goes. He got all the flags. All right. Brad wins the match. And now he'll be making his way to the end of Freeze Easy Peak. Davey more than halfway done with Rusty Bucket Bay, though. And we have to assume that Davey's just going to take the race. But we will see. Davey could die in Click Clock Wood. Davey could die in FFM. Davey could choke the Grunny fight a million times like he did at AGDQ. We'll have to see what happens. All right, but Brad sucks it up, manages to keep going. You know, I'm honestly surprised we haven't seen a forfeit. He's going to grab some collectibles on the way out. Figures why not. And now he dies to the Chinker. All right, so Davey is getting close to the nav room, and nobody actually knows why the nav room soft lock happens, but it just can randomly happen sometimes. Brad might be watching the race. He might be listening to my commentary, but all I can say is he is reaping what he's sowed. He's reaping what he's sowed. Okay, so that's really like the last thing we're gonna see here. Did Brad land in the tunnel? Is this what I just watched now? Brad has to actually redo the flying section? Oh my goodness. So Brad losing even more time here. Davey now going to the whistles. We'll see if Davey gets a rocket jump. He bonks trying to do the beak bomb. Oh, no rocket jump for Davey. Okay, now Davey is about to enter the nav room. So here we go, folks. Will it soft lock? No. He makes his way over to the Mumbo token. He grabs the notes. He's looking pretty good. Okay, he has successfully avoided the soft lock. Again, we don't necessarily know why that room can sometimes soft lock, but it can sometimes just crash your game. And Davey actually missing the banister there with the notes on it, but it's not too big of a time loss. He can just jump over here to the ladder and get back up top. Davey making his way into the last warehouse. Yes, Davey is almost 10 minutes ahead of Hyper right now because Hyper died in MMM and he lost the boggy race not once, not twice, but 3 times. Feels Brad, man. Let's just say I woke up and I was sick to my stomach. So, Brad entering the puzzle room for RBB, Davey entering the anchor room. Davey getting 100 notes, so it doesn't really matter if he dies in RBB now. All he would have to do is collect all the Jinjos. But yeah, Brad just now entering Rusty Bucket Bay, and Davey's almost done. So it's really going to take a big mistake from NotDavie in order for Brad to catch back up. I don't necessarily know if we'll see it, but guys, I mean, I've said it a million times. Anything could happen. All right, so he gets the 10th Jiggy skip. He's going to be making his way into the last room of RBB in order to collect the 3rd to last empty honeycomb. After he collects this honeycomb, he'll only have the 2 in Click-Clock Wood to collect. Brad making his way up to engine room now. Missing a note, so now the pipes are going to be a little bit faster for Brad than he's used to, but making it through just fine. Davey, death warping, very good. Accidentally gets in the water, so has a little bit of a death animation there, but Davey with a 144.16, still on a pretty good pace for Banjo-Kazooie 100%. In fact, gonna do some fact checking here. 1 second. Analyzing data. Davey is on pace right now for about a 215. So pretty good job for Davey. All right, and now Brad almost clips instantly out of engine room. That was a very, very good engine clip, but he's got to watch his health here. He only has 2 health. He wants to make sure I don't want to die again. He does kill the Captain Grublin. The world record for this is a 2:03.12, if I'm not mistaken. Davey going for leaf jump here, manages to get it on the second try. So remember that orange cauldron that they activated way earlier? We're going to see Davey take that orange cauldron to go all the way back to the beginning parts of the lair in order to open out Click Clock Wood. He's going to make sure that they can get it. Go buy booze. Pour a shot for Brad. He's probably going to be buying his own booze tonight himself. Oh my gosh, Brad taking damage on the Champa there. So he's got to be really careful now. Yeah, this will not be a PB for Davey, probably, unless he has like a godlike endgame, because Davey does have a 213. But Davey basically has the run in the bag. He could still die in Click Clock Wood like we've been saying, but honestly, he could play it safe without any strats and probably still beat Brad at this point. So Davey now opening up Click Clock Wood. Brad still continuing in Rusty Bucket Bay. Not really sure what else to say about this. This is definitely not going to be a PB for Brad. He is like 9 minutes behind. He probably already lost his PB pace when he died in MMM. So no, probably not a PB for him either. Brad's got to be careful here too. He's going to be at 1 health after hitting Boss Box. There he goes. He manages to get out and escape in time. All right, so Davey on his way back to Click Clock Wood. Brad making his way over to the bedroom. But he's going to make sure to kill this Flotsam really quick in order to get some health. He just wants to make sure he doesn't hit the Captain Grublin in here and die again. Made his way out of the bedroom. He'll be making his way to blue boxes now. Davey just now entering Click Clock Wood. So Davey basically, yeah, like we said, about 10 minutes ahead at this point. It's just going to be really, really hard for Brad to even be considered an opponent here. I mean, Davey's really, really got to screw up. But Brad having a pretty solid blue box there. And guys, yeah, we got to give kudos to Brad. You know, he could have forfeited any of the times that things went wrong, but he's still going. He wants to remain a fair competitor in the top 12 here. And he wants to give Davey a run for his money. He knows, hey, Davey could choke in Click Clock Wood, so who knows? All right, Davey making his way up the tree. So Click Clock Wood is known for very, very tight movement. Obviously, if you were to fall off the tree at any point off of these small little railings, you're going to probably take some fall damage. You might even die, depending on how much health you're currently at. So, yeah, we'll see what happens. Brad making his way up the second crane now in order to get the cage jiggy. And Davey frees Irie. And we're going to be Irie's mother for the remainder of this run because for whatever reason, Irie's parents abandoned him as a child, left him in the nest all alone, no way to feed himself, no way to fly. And yeah, he's going to need some baby worms for breakfast as we go through the year. Oh my god. Oh my god. I cannot believe Brad didn't just die right there. If the Captain Grublin just moved a hair over, he was dead. And this would have been a forfeit. I cannot believe he didn't just freaking die right there. Alright, so Davey already done with Spring 1, making his way over to Summer. At this point, Brad just looks like he's looking for an excuse to forfeit. So there is one worm. We're going to be collecting 15 worms across the next 2 seasons. So keep in mind about that. Davey making his way up the tree to get the first Jiggy of Quick Clock Wood, killing the Zubbas. And now Brad has to go into the nav room. So we might see the nav room soft lock from Brad. Will it soft lock? Let's find out. Brad with one health. He's making sure that he kills these guys. Alright, so he's looking pretty good. He makes it out, and he does not soft lock. Very good. Alright, so 1 Jiggy done for Davey and Quick Clock Wood. He does the ground pound recoil in order to not take fall damage, falling all the way to Gobi. And we smash Gobi again because we need some water for our flower. Oop, Brad accidentally falling off the top banister there. He's got to go over to the box. There you go. Gets on top. No problem. He's killing the Champa for more health. Yeah, there is a soft lock in the nav room. It really does not happen very often, but we do not know why it happens. It just happens. The game just crashes in nav room sometimes. We've noticed that it's more common whenever it... we noticed that it's more likely to happen when you take damage in the nav room from one of the Captain Grublins, but that still is not the indicator that makes it soft lock. So we don't know like what causes it. Brad taking a lot of damage in this anchor room though. Got to be careful here because if he does die on the way out, he will have to collect all the Jinjos again. So we want to make sure that he plays it safe. Davey making his way up the tree again in Summer. Okay, Brad playing it safe, getting another little honeycomb there. Also, happy 8:01 everybody for people on Central Time. Happy 8:01 p.m. Central Time really is the best time. Alright, so Davey playing it safe on top of these leaves. Brad's going to be trying to go for this last Jiggy skip here. See if he gets it with the buoy position. And the buoy goes down, and he manages to grab it. Very good. Ooh, and he's got to watch out for Snacker here. Snacker does take a chunk out of him there. Oh, man, and Davey going for Summer House. Going across that wide gap. Yeah, it's hard to say that Brad got quote-unquote unlucky. He just used some gold feathers in places where he could have avoided using gold feathers, and then when he didn't have gold feathers, you know, it was because he had used them other places. He's never really been unlucky. He's just kind of not paid attention. Alright, so Brad dies to the Champa. Exits RBB. Literally 10 minutes after Davey. So, again, we do have about a 10-minute difference between the two players. So, I'm assuming we'll probably see a 2:15 and a 2:25 should the runners continue at the current pace that they're currently on. But, as I've said before, anything can happen. So Davey making his way out of summer now. He'll be making his way into autumn or fall, depending on what part of the United States you're from. A lot of people like to call it fall because a lot of people fall in the speedruns of this game. Brad choosing not to go for leaf jump, just going to play it safe, take a little bit of the time lost there. Yeah, 215 is not that bad considering, you know, I have a 217. So, I mean, Davey, even with mistakes, is going to come way far ahead of me. So, yeah, definitely still really stellar gameplay out of Davey. And we were seeing really good gameplay out of Brad, too. I mean, he was neck and neck with Davey for basically the entirety of the race until he died. So, you know, both of these players still with a lot on their plate left to do, but both still playing very well. Star, I think you're actually right. I think a 215 would be a race PB for Davey, so we'll have to see what he gets. Davey's kind of known for choking some stuff in races, but he has managed to make his way through this tournament. I'll say that I was in the same group as Davey, and he definitely blew me out of the water. As well as I-Cup. Let's see. I know he forfeited to either Phantasma or I-Cup at one point. He's kind of known for choking races, but he is here right now. He is probably going to advance out of here. But yeah. I mean, let's be honest. If we're talking about chokes, I mean, you guys weren't at AGDQ. I was at AGDQ. Well, some of you guys were at AGDQ. But I was at AGDQ. I saw the Grunny fight out of Davey. Anything could happen, guys. Anything could happen. That's right. Okay, they both forfeited the first race, and then he won the second one. Thank you. I'm glad that we have Banjo-Kazooie tournament historians in here, because I haven't been paying attention to every single match. I did watch the Esper versus Lazy match yesterday, though. Very, very good match between those two. Very close competitors. If you guys want to see another race where somebody gets completely blown out of the water, make sure you turn in for my next match against our Obliterator, where, you know, I have a 217, our Obliterator has like a 208, and I'll be getting Shrek'd. I'll be getting Shrek'd, mate. So both players now in Quick Clock Wood. Davey making his way through fall. Brad making his way through Spring 1. Yeah, if you thought that this was a Shrekkening, just wait. Legend has it that our Obliterator has all 5 pieces of Exodia. So, I really don't stand a chance. Alright, Davey manages to get past the Buzz Bomb, so he isn't going to get knocked off of fall. That's kind of the last place where you really fall off of fall. So, should be okay there. Brad going for the fast fall strat where you take fall damage and reset. Very good. Davey collecting Nabnuts nuts. Nabnuts' nuts. Right? Is that the right English way to say that? Nabnuts' nuts. And he's just got to get one more worm. Oh, yeah, they're acorns. Yeah, that's right. I think if I was to say like something that Nabnuts owned, though, it would be Nabnuts's. Nabnuts's nuts. All right, Brad making his way out of spring now. Davey almost done with fall. He just has to get the Irie Jiggy. Or, I mean, he's got to feed Irie and get a couple more things, but then he'll be making his way into winter. And for those of you guys who haven't seen a Click Clock Wood winter in a speed run yet, you're in for a real treat. We're going to see some really cool clips where they go out of bounds, and it should be really cool to see. So Davey making his way around the nest, going to be collecting this last worm because he's got to feed Irie 10 worms. So feeding Irie gets kind of boring. I mean, it's not really anything there. Davey just making sure he gets a good camera angle so that the lag isn't so great. The thing with fall is that with all the leaves falling around, it can be pretty laggy. There are more than 10 worms in fall, but we obviously want to just collect the 10 fastest ones. So that's what we do. So Davey making his way over to the flower Jiggy. Dropping down, and he's going to go for fall clip here. We'll see if he gets it. He sets up the camera nicely. Wow, clips it really fast, actually. So for those who haven't seen that, that's fall clip. That's a way of exiting the level without losing note progress. So it's just a little bit faster of a way to get back to the next season. And Davey actually set it up really quickly, so very good on him. All right, so Davey does not need to collect any more Mumbo tokens. He has the 25 needed in order to turn into the Bumblebee, which he'll be turning into once he goes back into spring. But for right now, he is collecting some more notes in winter. He's got to hit this witch switch without getting tagged by the Sir Slush. And he manages to dodge it. Very good. Brad making his way up to summer. Accidentally falls off the leaf, so he's got to start over. And Davey making his way up to the top room here. Beak busting the Grublin Hood. So Brad just got the second Jiggy. Davey just got the 7th Jiggy. That gives you kind of a reference of where these two are. And will Brad be going for Summer House? No, he decides he doesn't want to go for Summer House. But he does jump on the dead zone of the Snare Bear there. Nice, cool trick for those who haven't seen that. And Davey, he's got just a couple things left to get here in Click Clock Wood. Blue Jinjo. And he's going to be making his way up to the top here for Irie. Irie's now a big eagle. We have raised him to perfection. And somehow worms, once you digest them in an eagle's body, he poops out gold. So that's how he poops out this Jiggy. All right, and Davey makes his way up to the 9th Jiggy in winter. He's going to pick it up in flight to avoid the dance animation. And now he's going to poop an egg onto this window. He's got to get inside to get the last honeycomb. Or actually, it's second last honeycomb, rather. But he's only got 6 eggs, so he's got to make sure he gets it. He's going to scoot up just a little bit more. Scoot up just a little bit more. Bam! He gets the egg shot. Very nice. And he gets inside. Collects the second to last honeycomb, making his way out. And now we're going to see some of these cool clips. So hopefully we'll see these flying clips from Davey. We'll see how successful he is at them. Whew. Almost gets tagged by the snowball there, but survives. Almost gets tagged again, but survives. He's going to do another duck, dive, and dodge is what I wanted to say. Clips through the tree. Very good on the first one. He's going to make sure he picks up this empty honeycomb. Ooh. Ooh. He's going to turn around. He accidentally went a little bit too high. Goes a little bit too high again. Having some trouble here. There he goes. He gets it. Oh, no. Do not land, Davey. Okay, good. All right, so he's going to make his way over to the left side of the fireplace here. He's got to get really close to the ground in order to clip. Oh, and he gets it. Perfect. So he does clip through in winter. That's another way there, guys, that he voids in order to get back to spring as fast as possible. And, yeah, Davey's on really, really good pace here. Yeah, Davey's still on about a 2:15 pace, so we'll see if he makes any more mistakes, see if he gets a good Furnace Fun. I don't think... Oh, no, Davey did talk to one Brentilda. He did. He did talk to one Brentilda, at least. Oh, Davey accidentally touches the wading boots there. He didn't mean to do that. Brad now in autumn, so still 2 seasons behind Davey. Davey spends the last of his Mumbo tokens turning into the B. And he's going to be making his way up to the very, very top of spring in order to pick up the green Jinjo. And then he will be entering the hive to get the pink Jinjo. And we're going to see hive clip from Davey here in a second, where you just clip as the bee through the corner of the hive. It's a pretty neat little easy clip. He's just going to hold B and hold forward, and there you go. He clips out of the corner, and wham bam, he is done with Click Clock Wood, and he's about to collect the last Jiggy of the game. There it is. He's got all 100 Jiggies. He's got all 24 empty honeycombs. He's got all 900 notes. All Davey has left to do is beat the witch. So he'll be making his way into Furnace Fun here. And Furnace Fun, basically a couple things that could go wrong. The Joker Square could be a grunty question. He gets it wrong. Penalty is he has to restart FFM. Another thing that could happen is grunty question on the Death Square. Penalty, he has to do it again if he gets it wrong. He could get the grunty question wrong many times. Again, you'd have to do it again or collect some more stuff. But for right now, he's looking pretty good. We're going to see here what the Joker question is. We're making sure this is not a grunty question. Ooh, pretty tough question, but for those who actually run the game, you know that the answer is 94. The question was how many squares are on the Furnace Fun board. That can sometimes be a little confusing for just casual players because you obviously just haven't counted the squares. But yeah, runners know that the answer is 94. So he is using the calculator here, manages to get it on the second try, so he's got past one grunty question. Brad missing a acorn. He's got to go back up for that. Davey making his way through. We're going to see what kind of question he gets on the Death Square. Okay. Just asking about the walrus in Freeze Easy Peak. So easy death square question. Really the only thing that can screw up Davey is if he screws up Furnace Fun Skip. And what he's going to do, guys, is when you normally get a death square question wrong, the game forces you to go into the lava and it becomes a loss of a life. However, there is a death square on this board, and it's not even the only one, but there is a death square where if you get the question wrong, it has a chance of pushing you back onto the game board, and the game registers that you're already dead, so it clears kind of the board game's like walking restrictions, and you're able to just walk across as if you had already completed the game. We do this in our runs because it skips the fake credits that we used to have to watch in our speedruns, and we're able to just go straight to the grunny fight. So Davey's coming up onto the death square. He's got to do one more grunny question. Gets it right. He's going to line himself up here. Got to make sure that he's got 1 foot on each, and that looked like a pretty scary setup, but we'll see if it works. And he stays on the board, and he walks across. And just like that, he finishes up Furnace Fun. Yeah, Davey's definitely looking at getting like a 215 here. Very good. Hugs the left side in order to not activate the cauldron. Brad's still kind of fiddling around in fall, collecting a Bumbo token that's really out of the way. Making his way to Flower Jiggy. And Davey, okay, Davey decides he wants to be safe. He goes ahead and refills the feathers. Brad trying to do fall clip, but Big Butt comes over and gets in his way. All right, so Brad gets fall clip, albeit not as fast as Davey, but still manages to get it. Oh, there is one final soft lock. That's right. We could see Davey soft lock on the Jinjo statues in the grunny fight, but we haven't seen that this tournament. I don't know if we'll see it in this run either. We'll see what happens, though. Davey's definitely on par to get a nice race PB, though. So Davey poops all the eggs right there in order for Grunny to hit them on her way down. And Davey gets some good shots there on the first pattern. Accidentally zooms out the camera instead of going into talent shot, so he's going to be behind a little bit on this cycle. There we go. Now he's back on it. Yeah, it is still 100% without double health. You don't have to get all of the health upgrades. You only have to complete the game totals, and the game totals just requires honeycombs, beating the game, and jiggies and notes. So you don't have to get the double health. All right, so Davey a little slow on the beak bomb. He knows that he was a little slow, so he's gonna go ahead and make a circle and go around and get her again. Misses the second beak bomb wide, so he's got to wait for her to either freeze or come back around. There he goes. Gets her on that right angle. And beak bombs are here. Goes wide again. Just beak bombing a little bit too late for her. He knows she's going to move here. Oh, but he actually gets tagged by the fireball. So he's got to wait again. He's going to see her. There we go. And with 3 fireballs left to go, usually you can just beak bomb. It's not too hard to hit her on the last phase. So really, Davey is looking at not a 215, unfortunately. It's looking like it's going to be a high 216. Maybe even a mid 216 if you get some good Jinjo statues. But unless he soft locks here, he's looking pretty good at ending this game as the victor, as moving into that top 8. Ooh, and the eggs don't quite bounce into the statue there, so he does not get the cutscene skip. And the orange Jinjo statue looks good. Doesn't soft lock on that. Brad accidentally falling off of the top of Winter there. That's not good. And I can only assume that since Davey is looking away from these statues, that the statues are activating, which means that he is not soft locking. The Jinjo statue soft lock is very, very uncommon. Yeah, it's very uncommon. But it does happen. It has screwed several runners out of a PB. Alright, so last thing Davey has to do is activate the Jinjo Nader. He is looking at probably about a 216.20. And we got to give it to him. Very good racing out of Davey. You know, he had a couple mistakes early with some TTC flight sections, but he managed to hold on, and he's going to move into the top 8. There you go, 216.28, GG. GG, to be honest. So congratulations to NotDavie, moving on into the top 8 of the Banjo-Kazooie tournament. Yeah, round of applause for Davey. Really, really good racing out of him. Really looking forward to seeing how we continue to do against our competitors as we move into the top 8. And yeah, guys, stick around. Hopefully we'll see Brad finish it up just in about 10 minutes or so. So it shouldn't be too much longer for Brad to finish. And then, yeah, that'll be the end of the BK stuff for tonight. Brad doesn't even have 10 minutes left. He's got about 1 minute, 3 minutes, 3 minutes. Yeah, he's got 7-ish minutes, 7.5 minutes left. Still going to get a pretty decent time. Maybe longer than that. What else does he still have to do? How much does Furnace Fun take? Like 3.5 minutes usually? Yeah. Still pretty good, but GG. Congratulations to NotDavie. Very, very solid gameplay. Yeah, and if we want to pull in Davey for an interview, absolutely. If he wants to pull in here for a runner's interview, definitely have some questions to ask him. Absolutely. Yeah. If you guys want to hear, from the victor, if we want a post-game interview with the master, type a 1 in the chat. If you don't want a post-game interview, type an F in the chat. Hey, Davey.
Hello?
What's
Hey.
up, dude? Congratulations on your win, man.
Thanks, man. Yeah, that was pretty interesting.
Yeah,
I
are you
start-
surprised with your final time?
Yeah, a little bit, because at the start there, I was already a minute behind my PB. It was a pretty bad start, I would say, and I just kind of started, like, to keep telling myself, like, oh yeah, if I just do fine, like, the rest of the run, it won't matter. Like, this isn't for a PB, this is just for the race. So, basically, I just tried not to tilt too hard, and
Yeah, was
Did
that
pretty
your
good.
mentality kind of going into levels like MMM and Gobi's kind of choosing, hey, I'm going to do some of the safer strats? You know, I noticed that you didn't do Gobi clip. You
right.
didn't want to go for that because you were like, let's just keep going on that steady pace.
Yeah, that's basically what it was if I don't mess anything up here, like, everything will be, decent times. I don't need to have any gold splits or anything here. Let's just keep it going and just play it safe, because in races you die once and you lose a ton of time and risk losing the race. So I didn't want to take too many chances.
Yeah, it was funny to see you guys using some of the same strats throughout basically the entirety of the race up to MMM. And then obviously with Brad dying in the church, that's kind of where you took the lead.
Right.
And obviously you played very well, played all the way to the end. Getting to 216 in a race is not too bad considering your PB. So yeah, again, congratulations.
Yeah, it's actually a 30-second race PB, so that's actually my best race time.
Yeah, that's sweet then. Yeah, congratulations on the race PB even. And now you've moved into top 8 and you're going to be against DickusCon. So how are you feeling about that race?
Well, I think I'm going to change it up a little bit. I think I'm going to try and go for pretty much all the strats and hope to get a really good run. Since his time is a lot better than mine, my goal is to basically just go for a really good run and not really hold back, try and do soft lock, try and do Gobi clip, do it all, and hope it goes well for me.
Hell yeah, I like the strategy there. Well, yeah, best of luck to you when you face DickusCon. One more question I have to ask is, were you stressed out during engine room today?
Yeah, I've been having some tough times with it. Sometimes I mess it up, so today was kind of no different, where I get in there and it's a little nervous and my hands are a little shaky. So
yeah, no worries. The hand shakiness happens to the best of us. If any of the viewers out there have any questions for Davey, feel free to ask them in the chat. Otherwise, we're just gonna sit and chill in here until Brad is done with his race. Brad is looking to finish here with Furnace Fun Skip, and then he'll be doing the Grunty fight as well. And then who knows, maybe we'll even call Brad in here for a post-game interview and ask him how he feels about doing the boggy race 5 times. We have a question from Rizu. He's asking, how's the cat?
She's pretty good. She's just chilling on the bed, having a nap, the usual.
Nice. Oh, and I guess Brad had a Grunty question. Oh, and Brad is forfeiting. All right, so that is going to be it. He resets the timer. And ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us tonight on twitch.tv/speedgaming. Looks like Brad does not want to finish. He's had enough. I know the feeling. I think we all know the feeling, quite honestly. And who knows? Let's see if we can get him in here for a post-game interview. Okay, so he looks like Brad got to 0 lives, started the cutscene, and then cut stream. Maybe he'll join, maybe not.
Memes.
Hey, Brad! Brad, what happened?
Memes.
Memes? Brad, I have to ask, there were so many points in the run where I just wasn't sure what was going on. One instance was like, okay, so for instance, you guys were neck and neck, basically all through Gobies, really doing very, very well. And then you refilled up to full health at the end of Gobies.
I don't know why. I just I was autopiloting because I'm used to being at low health.
Yeah.
So I just refilled anyways. I don't know why I did that.
Gotcha. And then turtle pattern. What happened with turtle patterns?
Okay, so turtle pattern. That was the funniest thing. So I wasn't sure if I had hit him, for like the movement skip. And
okay.
I did, and then I guess like the movement got weird afterwards because I kept hearing Banjo go wee 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 wee, and then like that really confused me, and so I wasn't paying attention to the pattern. And then I was in Discord call, so I was like, all right, just tell me what the pattern was, but nobody was looking at it, so I had to rewatch it. And then the second one, I was just like flustered, and I got one out of order.
Gotcha. Okay, interesting. And then
that was the part where I stopped caring about the run.
Okay, yeah. Obviously, that was the point that you stopped caring about the run, was the turtles?
Sorta.
Okay, because again, you guys were like neck and neck, basically through Gobies. Obviously, you coming out of Gobies probably about 40 seconds behind with the refilling on the health and things like that. But obviously, the dive in the church, you running out of gold feathers, was that kind of I don't know what to say. Is that something that normally happens to you, the running out of gold feathers there? Or I know you had the limbo up top of the organ, so I don't know. Do you want to kind of talk about that? Or
so the funny thing is, I'm for the piano, I'm used to using the like picture you can Google where it has like numbers like 1 through 14 or 15 or whatever on it.
Gotcha.
So I'm used to looking for the 6 when I start the second pattern. And I was using the Heroku thing that guy posted in the Banjo-Kazooie Discord for this race. Yeah. So on that, I looked for the 6 on the second picture. And so I got it wrong by going for the wrong key first. So that was what got me partially low on health. And then what else happened? I just let go of the C button too fast. Like I thought the guy was like gonna charge at me quicker, so I let go of the C button, and then he just like stopped, didn't charge at me, and then it was GG at that point.
Yeah, I got you. If there's not anything else that you guys would like to talk about, I think we're gonna go ahead.
Why don't we talk about Freezeezy Peak a little bit?
Oh yeah, do you want to talk about the boggy races?
That tilted me more than anything ever has.
So Cole had said that you had gone through the flags and they didn't register.
Yeah, so like the first time it happened, I autopiloted and I just like kept going, and I was just like, it took me a second to realize like it didn't fucking work.
Yeah.
And so that was that, and I was through the flag and I assumed it worked. And then the second time, you know, Boggy is like kind of in a weird spot in terms of the rubber banding. And so he was going too fast at the end for me to grab the note and win. Yeah, and then the flag thing happened again.
Yeah.
Rusty Bucket Bay, I saved 3 minutes because I didn't die.
Yeah, that's sweet.
PB.
No dying engine room, yeah.
Let it be known that the only reason that I continued the run after Rusty Bucket Bay, or I guess like Freezeezy Peak pretty much because I was so mad, is because I knew the run could still beat Purple Rupee's PB.
What a wonderful, wonderful reason to keep going.
And then I died in front, I did not remember the answer to that question. And I was thinking, there's 5 snowmen, and I was just thinking like the ones that you hit and not including
but not the big one.
Not the big one.
Yeah.
And I wasn't sure about the ice cubes, so I just went with the bears.
Yeah. Gotcha. Well, at any rate, guys, thank you for the race. Again, once again, congratulations to NotDavie for moving on into the top 8. Brad, obviously a good competitor yourself, but falling short in the end. I think that's it. Thank you again for watching, everybody. And we'll be doing more of these top 8 races within the next upcoming weeks. So thanks again. Secret Humor Man here, signing out.